Do you love challenges? Well, I do. If you're new, welcome. If this is a return journey, welcome back. Uluayemc is my name. Speaking of challenges, the Bossy Challenge raked in a lot of views that I'm so afraid to talk numbers. So great was the Silhouette Challenge that it was standing shoulder to shoulder with the pandemic. It was a pandemic of shoulders and silhouettes. Yeah, so I found it quite challenging that the Be Like Ngozi challenge was suddenly too challenging. And the buzzword right now is Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is the new DG of the World Trade Organization. Now, here is why I want to talk about this woman. How does her appointment into the World Trade Organization as a DG affect us as Nigerians? Number one, I feel we are very excited and happy because, of course, Nigerians are making us proud. Nigerians of the world. But what is the overall implication? Before we get into that, let us first quickly check out what the World Trade Organization is about, what Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is expected to do, what the possible outcomes might be for Nigeria. Now, for this top World Trade Organization position, there was a key race between South Korea's Trade Minister, Yo Myung-hee, and Nigeria's former Finance Minister, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Yo Myung-hee withdrew from the race on the 5th of February 2021, and Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala went on to become the DG after garnering the support of over 70% of the WTO members. At the initial stage, the Trump administration had vetoed her candidacy, and the WTO administrator suspended the entire election process indefinitely. Talking about one country coughing and everybody catching a cold. Anyway, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, NOI for short, is the first woman, the first African, the first Nigerian to become the World Trade Organization boss. Yippee, yippee, yeah, yeah, yippee, yippee. Okay, I'm just excited. Who would not be? You know this Omowane thing. Okay, let me just quickly move on. Now, born in Nigeria, Okonjo-Iweala went ahead and graduated from Harvard in 1976. Then she proceeded and got her PhD from MIT. Now, she's a woman of first, of course. I'd rated her. She's shattering ceilings and breaking walls down. First Nigerian finance minister, first female to run for World Bank presidency. I mean, come on. So I understand why this challenge is big. Like, it's a big shoe to fill, really. And this place is getting hot because I'm just mentioning it. All right. With Joe Biden's electoral victory in the US, Washington recognized Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala's victory in the WTO race. Now, what does the WTO do, safe? Why are we even so happy, are we concerned? I will tell you. The WTO is the only global international organization that deals with the rules of trade between nations to ensure that trade is as free, predictable, and as smooth as possible. Like, just to ensure that trade runs smoothly, as agreed by the WTO and ratified by member nations' parliaments. Now, the WTO also provides technical assistance and training for developing countries. They settle trade disputes between member nations or member countries, as it were. The WTO also acts as a forum for administering and negotiating trade agreements. The WTO supports the needs of developing countries. The primary purpose of the WTO is to open trade for the benefit of all. Established January 1st, 1995 by the Uruguay Round Negotiations of 1986 to 1994. Established January 1st, 1995 by the Uruguay Round Negotiations of 1986 to 1994 and comprising of 164 members representing 98% of world trade. The WTO is a place where member governments try to slug out trade disputes between themselves, because the WTO is a place that is guided by rules and agreements and principles. So whatever trade disputes that any nation, any member nation have between themselves, they have to slug it out there. And so it's not a place where they'll just say, let's dig it out. Yeah, what, are you talking to me? No. They just go there to sort out trade discrepancies. The WTO is a place where member nations go to sort out trade disputes between each other. It is rules based, and it's also based heavily on negotiations. As the seventh DG of the World Trade Organization, what exactly is expected of NOI? When she takes office March 1st, 2021, for a term that would expire 31st August 2025, which of course is renewable. So as the DG, a key priority for Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala would be to work with members to tackle the economic and health consequences brought on by the emergence of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. She intends to reform and update the WTO rules and negotiations and agreements to reflect 21st century issues such as e-commerce, the green economy, circular economy, digital economy, just to ensure that those issues are well represented in the World Trade Organization, because trade has moved beyond physical bargaining or border trade and all of that. Now, here is what gives me joy. She's very likely to support female participation in global trade, because she's someone who believes that greater efforts should be made to include female-owned business in the formal sector. So it kind of gives me joy that there's a huge likelihood that females will have more chances with her DG-ship. You know what I mean? Another thing that calls my attention is the fact that Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is somebody who sees trade as a motto for growth, for increased standard of living and development. And I really hope that, Nigeria can position herself, and by that I mean our leaders. Like, if we can really position ourselves, because I'm hearing growth, I'm hearing development, I'm hearing increased standard of living, and it's sounding like what Nigerians are clamoring for. So I really wish that it's because she can't use her position, so to speak. Like, she can't be seen directly trying to uplift or channel that energy into her country, because she's not there for Nigeria. She's there for the World Trade Organization. I don't want to say nothing good will come out of it for Nigeria. That was why I said Nigeria needs to be well positioned. Like, we need to know our honors. We need to do what needs to be done. I can imagine a stronger Buy Nigeria, Export Nigeria campaign all over. Like, buy Nigeria there, buy local, buy made in Nigeria, buy this, do this, and just to ensure that, okay, so to a certain extent we're able to compete with world trade standards. Because the truth of the matter is, even if we manufacture products back to back now, if they do not meet world standards, we may actually not be competing favorably. But what I'm saying is that we shouldn't, as Nigerians, and I'm not talking about leaders now, you and I, we shouldn't sit down and be expecting that, she's even there, she cannot do anything for our country. Because the truth of the matter is, she has bigger fish to fry. It would be a shame on us if after 4 years, we do not upgrade. Now, when I think of Nigeria, I think that if we are serious about it, we can actually plug into the opportunity and ride this. And this is why I said that. Nigeria has been a World Trade Organization member since January 1st, 1995. And also we're a member of the GATT, that's the General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, since 18th November 1960. When I tried checking Nigeria's trade reports and relevant documents on the WTO website, let's just say I couldn't make sense of it. However, if the government works on agriculture and tech and pushes for aggressive manufacturing, which of course means that they have to fix power, they have to fix infrastructure, they have to fix roads. So you see, we actually have a long way to go. But if we're really serious, if we want to latch onto this opportunity, we need to, like, it's like trying to do the backlog of 10 years work in 1 year, but we should at least start wherever we're able to push it to. We know that, okay, there's movement somewhere. So what I'm trying to say is that if government can work on agriculture, trade, export, investment, manufacturing, tech, works on infrastructure, works on light, especially works on road network, works on all of that, if we can double our efforts, then we might just be well positioned, so to speak, to benefit from the proposed review of the WTO's rules and agreements, as I mentioned earlier. Now, I don't want to say more than I know, so here is a hearty congratulations to Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. We're very proud of you, Mom. Thank you for keeping the light shining. Thank you for being a fantastic example to Nigerians, both young and old. And this is a huge push for every Nigerian out there. You must believe that we are limitless. We are limitless. Just before I go, please like, share, subscribe to my channel, and please click on the notification bell so that you get a notification every single time I post a new video on life as I see it. Don't forget to drop your comments, suggestions, questions, corrections in the comment box. I am off to take my own pictures of the Be Like Ngozi challenge. You will.